Again this week we see some good Duskmourn cards dropping in price as many packs are opened. This video is sponsored by Flipside Gaming. Check out flipsidegaming.com for all your gaming needs. Right now you can pre-order Magic the Gathering Foundations or find a vast number of other great products on their website. Remember, shipping is free in the US if your order is over $100 or consists only of singles. Just look in the description or the comment section below for direct links to their site. Hey there, this is John from Heroes and Legends, and welcome to another edition of the Magic the Gathering Market Watch. This time we're looking at the top 10 coldest Magic cards of the week. Like I said in the cold open, many of the cards moving down in price right now are from Duskmourn. This happens typically with new sets since many packs are opened and supply slowly catches up with demand. Remember though, when we say cold cards, we mean cards that are going down in price, but not necessarily cards that are seeing less play. So you could find some good deals here today. As always, our list is based on two things: the percentage decrease in the value of the cards, but we also want to see a true decrease in the number of sales from week to week too. Quickly before we get started, I do want to say thank you to one of our gold patrons, and that is Drave. Drave, thank you for all your support on Patreon. It really does go a long way. I could not do this and make these videos without supporters like yourself. Thank you again so much, Drave. And now, without any further ado, let's get into it. Number 10, Resurrection Orb. This is down $1.15 to $6.40. That's a 15% decrease. This is from the Warhammer 40k Necron Dynasties Commander deck. It's in a few Commander builds like Zarek the Silent King from its pre-con. Resurrection Orb has even seen a bump in play recently thanks to Duskmourn. Some players grab this to upgrade the Endless Punishment Commander deck, while others put it in fresh builds around the Lord of Pain from there. Resurrection Orb also appeared in some builds around a couple cards from Duskmourn's main set: Arabella Abandoned Doll and the Mind Skinner. Ultimately, this saw a price bump right after Duskmourn was released. Now it's retracting some. Number 9, Razorkin Needlehead, down $1.29 to $7.55. That's a 15% decrease. This had a pretty high price point at the time of release, and even though it's seeing a lot of Commander play as well as a little Pioneer play, the card just can't maintain that kind of value as packs are opened. In Pioneer, it has appeared in Mono Red Aggro. As far as Commander, it's a great upgrade for the Endless Punishment deck, and it's in fresh builds around the front-facing Commander, Velgavoth Harrower of Souls, as well as the Lord of Pain from there. Razorkin Needlehead is in several other decks too. Another highly played one is around a card from Duskmourn's main set, Winter Misanthropic Guide. Number 8 is Leyline of Lifeforce. It goes down $1.56 to $6.34. That's a 20% decrease. This has been seeing a little more Commander play recently thanks to Bloomburrow. Some have been adding it to the Bloomburrow Animated Army Commander deck, while others have used it in fresh builds around the front-facing Commander from there, Bellow Bard of the Brambles. But you might remember that Leyline of Lifeforce got hot back when we learned that Leylines were going to be in Duskmourn. Some speculated that we might see a new version of the old Legacy Opalescence deck. Those types of builds used to start the game with various Leylines in play, and then if they could get Opalescence out on turn 1 with Serra's Sanctum, they would quickly have some 4/4 creatures in play. Spoiler, that didn't work out, but at the time, Leyline of Lifeforce was spec'd on heavily because it only had one printing. Now it's starting to come back down to earth. Number 7 is Enduring Innocence, down $1.63 to $8.44. That's a 16% decrease. This was number 3 on our hot list last week. It is one of the Duskmourn cards that's been showing up in lots of places. In Standard, you see it in Mono White Token Control, Azorius Enchantments, Azorius Control, Boros Token Control, Orzhov Token Control, and Bant Enchantments. Meanwhile, in Commander, Enduring Innocence is all over the place in old builds, new builds. The two most popular decks running this are around two other cards from Duskmourn, Arabella Abandoned Doll and the Jolly Balloon Man. But the Pioneer format and the regional championship tournaments featuring that format have been bringing a ton of attention to the card. This is in Pioneer builds like the very popular Selesnya Company and Azorius Flash, as well as Mono White Token Control and sometimes Azorius Spirits. But even with all the play it's seeing, the card still retracts this week after last week's aggressive spike. A lot of packs of Duskmourn are being opened right now, and the card's simply trying to find its proper price point. Flesh Duplicate moves down a spot this week to number 6, down $1.65 to $10.03. That's a 14% decrease. It's from the Doctor Who Timey-Wimey deck, and it's in a few Commander builds. The most popular one is around the partner commanders Rose Tyler and the 10th Doctor from its pre-con, Over in competitive Commander, this was a popular way to clone Dockside Extortionist up until recently when Dockside was banned. Ultimately, Flesh Duplicate is just not appearing in decks as much as it once did, so the price continues to drop. Alright, quickly before we get into our top 5, just a fast reminder, this video is sponsored by Flipside Gaming. Check out flipsidegaming.com for all your gaming needs. Right now you can pre-order Foundations products there. They also have a lot of other Magic the Gathering products, plus products that aren't even Magic related. Remember, if your order is over $100 or consists only of singles, shipping will be free in the United States. Also, if you're looking for a direct link to their site, just check out the description or the comment section below. I do have links posted in both of those places. And now, without any further ado, let's get to the top 5. Number 5, Canoptic Scarab Swarm, down $1.82 to $11.78. That's a 13% decrease. This is another card from the Warhammer 40k Necron Dynasties Commander deck. Recently, it had been spiking due to an increase in play both in Legacy and Commander formats. The Legacy play and some of the Commander play it was seeing has fallen off some, but Duskmourn cards are still pushing this in Commander, at least to some degree. There are players still getting this to upgrade the Death Toll Commander deck, while others are putting it in fresh builds around a couple cards from there. The front-facing Commander Winter Cynical Opportunist, as well as Renmaw Creaking Nest. You also see Canoptic Scarab Swarm in decks around 2 cards from the main set, the Mind Skinner and the Jolly Balloon Man. At the end of the day though, Canoptic Scarab Swarm drops some as the amount of play decreases. Coming in at number 4 is Meathook Massacre 2. This is down $2.12 to $10.68. That's a 17% decrease. Like most sequels, this just didn't live up to expectations. It had a high price point when it was released, and some tried to make it work in Standard, but it really hasn't done much there. It is seeing some Commander play in builds both old and new. Some players have used it to upgrade the Duskmourn Endless Punishment deck, while others are putting it in fresh builds around Velgavoth, Harrower of Souls, and the Lord of Pain from there. Another somewhat popular build that runs Meathook Massacre 2 is Maha Its Feathers Knight from Bloomburrow. But ultimately, the card moves down since it doesn't get the amount of play many anticipated, and lots of packs of Duskmourn are still being opened. Moving up one spot this week to number 3 is Overlord of the Balmerk. This is down $2.52 to $18.58. That is a 12% decrease. Now, a week ago, this was number 2 on our hot list, but over the last 2 weeks, there has been an influx of copies for sale after that aggressive spike that occurred. As for gameplay, this card is appearing in multiple formats. I have seen some try this in Standard, but it's seeing far more success in Pioneer. This is in the highly played Abzan and Mardu Greasefang decks, plus it's sometimes in 5-color Enigmatic Incarnation. In Modern, I've seen some trying it out in a few builds, but so far one of the more consistent ones running it is Living End, and in Legacy, you see the card in Esper Vial. As for Commander, this is in lots of decks there, old and new. Many are getting it to upgrade the Duskmourn Miracle Worker Commander deck. It's also in fresh builds around a couple cards from there. The front-facing Commander Aminatu Valpiercer, as well as the Master of Keys. Another popular deck running Overlord of the Balmerk is Marina Vendrell. That's from the Duskmourn main set. Regardless though, between the extra copies for sale and all the packs of Duskmourn being opened, Overlord of the Balmerk just couldn't hold its current price point. Moving up a spot this week to number 2 is Metamorphosis Fanatic, down $3.01 to $17.70. That's a 15% decrease. This is from the Duskmourn Miracle Worker Commander deck, and it was number 4 on the hot list a week ago. Again, after an aggressive spike, more copies went up for sale. Plus, more and more Miracle Worker decks are being opened. This card too, though, is seeing a good amount of play, as you would imagine it's showing up in fresh Commander builds around Aminatu Valpiercer and the Master of Keys from its pre-con. Metamorphosis Fanatic is appearing in some dual Commander decks as well, like Grist the Hungertide as well as Slimefoot and Squee. Legacy, however, was the key driver for its spike initially. I'm seeing more and more players trying this out in a tweaked version of Reanimation there, and the build has put up some good results on MTGO. Metamorphosis Fanatic is also showing up in Grixis Control, but Reanimator is the far more popular deck right now. Ultimately, I just think the card got too expensive too fast, so it's not surprising to see this continued retraction. And finally, coming in at number 1 is Velgavoth Terror Eater, down $3.30 to $23.49. That's a 12% decrease. Fourth verse, same as the first. This is another card from Duskmourn that is actually seeing play in more than one format. but it's also moving down since more packs are being cracked and the price point is simply too high for the amount of play it's getting. As for this card, it's in Standard Sultai Reanimator, it's also in Pioneer Mardu Midrange, 4-color Midrange, as well as Grixis and 4-color Indomitable Creativity. Meanwhile, in Commander, Velgavoth Terror Eater is getting a lot of play in decks both old and new. This has quickly become a fairly popular commander, and it's in the 99 of the highly played Kylejrutter of the Vast builds. Some have been getting this Velgavoth in order to upgrade the Duskmourn Endless Punishment deck, while others have been putting in fresh builds around Velgavoth Harrower of Souls from there. Regardless though, Velgavoth Terror Eater moves down this week, and I think it's going to lose some more value before it stabilizes. Alright, that's going to do it for this episode of the Magic the Gathering Market Watch. Now, if you missed yesterday's episode, go back and check that out. We looked at the top 10 hottest cards, and I'll tell you, those Marvel Secret Lair cards are really having an impact there. Until next time though, hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to like and subscribe, and have a great day. Hey, thanks for watching. This video is made possible through the generous support of viewers like you on Patreon. Check out the description below for links to our Patreon page, as well as our Amazon affiliate store, where a small percentage of all sales will also help support the channel. Finally, if you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the new videos on Heroes and Legends. Talk to you again soon, and have a great day.